We talked about the PS5 earlier, and now we're back to PlayStation. We actually just talked about PlayStation recently on Chilling with the Meatcast, Meatcast podcast streamed on my Twitch. Second time I'm plugging my Twitch in this episode. Wow. But no, yeah, go follow the Meatcast if you want to see another podcast that has me and Gus in it. But yeah, so we talked about this and how one of the things we talked about, like, they've been doing a bunch of weird stuff recently, but one of the things we talked about was how they rejected a Days Gone 2. Which I thought, like, yeah, Days Gone wasn't the best game ever, and it didn't sell particularly well at launch. But fucking give it a sequel. Like, I made a solo missions about it, which you'd think, like, that's a bad enough game for solo missions. It's really not. I mean, first of all, I think solo missions should be about any game. Second of all, I was just testing the waters, seeing how a video about, like, a game that isn't that bad would be, you know. So, but the creative director behind Days Gone, you still there, Gus, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I was just making sure because you turned your camera off. But the creative director behind Days Gone actually came out and said, if you maybe buy the game at full price at launch, or don't complain when there's not a sequel. And a lot of people got mad, and a lot of people got mad. A lot of people, like, said, like, I agree, but you're, like, I don't agree. If you know, I don't know how to describe. I've seen many, like, retweets of this tweet. Whoops, sorry about that. I've seen many retweets of this tweet. Basically saying, like, understandable, but the game was buggy and stuff when it came out, so when it goes on sale, like, it's more enticing and everything, whatever. And also, like, you know, yeah, people buy it on sale, people don't buy it for $60, but people still bought your game and they seem to like it. So there's some demand for a sequel. Even in my solo missions, where I was kind of a bit negative about the game, I said a sequel could probably be really good. So, like, I feel like it's just not a... I feel like he... I feel like the guy behind this, behind Days Gone, probably didn't mean to sound toxic or anything. He probably meant, like, hey, you know, we would do a Days Gone 2, but not enough people bought it at $60 at launch, so it's not really in the pipelines right now. But the way he worded it sounded very toxic. So it probably just was bad wording. But Gus, you know about this, and if you didn't, well, now you do. So what do you think about the director of Days Gone being like, hey, if you don't buy this game at full price at launch, don't complain that it doesn't get a sequel? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I don't understand why he said that. I feel like it's kind of a weird, like, comment. But as for sequel wise, I feel like if people do keep buying the game, eventually it could maybe become, like, you know, like a cult classic in the future.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple years down the line, we will get a sequel. But as for, like, what he said, I mean, in a way he's not wrong, but I can definitely get why people would kind of take, not necessarily offense, but, like, you know, be offended by it in a way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was poorly worded. That's why. That's
exactly.
What I think.
Yeah, exactly.
The game wasn't bad, you know.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay of Days Gone. I never played it myself, but I always thought it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, like, you know how many? I hope you know how many, like, big gaming franchises there are where their first entries are dog shit. Days Gone isn't even dog shit, but you know, Street Fighter, for example, that very different game, but still, like, obviously, you know, Street Fighter 2, but, like, it's, even though it's called Street Fighter 2, you do know there's a Street Fighter game that came before that one, right? But it's better that you don't, because that game sucks. that's just an example. There are many other games. Like Just Cause is another one. The first Just Cause is dog shit. But the later games, I haven't played 4, but 2 and 3 are really good. So
I've heard a lot of good things about 2 and 3.
So like, maybe Days Gone, and Days Gone then again, like, isn't even that bad. So like a game, you put out a game that's just meh to good, and then you put out a sequel and more sequels, it could become like, a really big thing. The other thing is it came out in sort of an oversaturated it was a zombie shooter, which there are a lot of them, and this game didn't really put a twist on it or anything. So that was probably another thing. So maybe if you do a sequel, you can put a twist on it, because I understand, but again, I said this earlier, but people bought it on sale. Yeah, they didn't buy it for $60, but first of all, I don't think the game was worth $60. Not that it's bad. It's just not worth $60. There are games that are good but aren't worth $60, and a lot of them are not priced at $60 because they're not worth $60. So like,
cough, Cyberpunk, cough.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of like that's a $60 game that's unfinished, I feel.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I get what you mean though. Content cut out, but like that's a big ass discussion we won't have right now.
Yeah.
So there should be like lessons to be learned with this, but instead it's sort of like, no, fuck you guys. You bought it when it was $40 as opposed to $60. Yeah, you bought it for only $20 less, and fuck you guys. We won't make another one. That's kind of. I'm not saying that's what he intended to come off as, but that's definitely what it seemed like.
It sounded like exactly.
Yeah, so it sounded toxic, and I doubt that was the intention. I'm sure this guy's a good person and all. I doubt he's a piece of shit. Okay, just
good family.
Yeah, I'm just. It was poor wording. Any final thoughts on this, Gus?
Yeah, just I feel like people should just think about what they say all the time. But at the same time, you can't blame them. It's always okay to be upset about something, and but at the same time, I feel like people should accept feedback.
Yeah.
A little more. I don't know.
I don't even think it's that like. I don't even think it was the feedback. I think it was just the fact that not too many people bought it at launch.
Yeah,